A record number of Americans are expected to head out of town during the final few days of the year. According to AAA, nearly 110 million Americans are expected to travel between December 23rd and January 1st, and that's up 3% from last year.
Most will be jumping in their cars, with over 97 million people expected to hit the roads, while another 6.4 million will take to the skies. And for more on the skies, let's bring in Gary Kelly. He is Southwest Airlines Chairman and CEO, and he joins us live here on set this morning. Mr. Kelly, thanks for taking a few moments with us. Was your arrival on time, I hope?
It was, or close enough.
I want to ask you a number of different questions while we have you here this morning. First and foremost, so you have been a vocal advocate of the tax cut program, and I just want to ask what it's going to mean for your company to see this plan be pushed through.
Well, I think, first of all, it's twofold. One is transportation. The transportation industry is really unfavored with the current tax scheme. So it levels the playing field, lowers our cost of capital relative to other industries, so that will be very welcome. And then for us as an individual company, it's a meaningful amount of a reduction in our taxes. Yeah. So we'll take that money. We're growing as an airline. We'll invest it in more airplanes. We'll add more jobs. I think it puts us in a position where we can modernize our fleet faster, and then we'll share some with our employees, yeah, and then we'll share some with our shareholders. So we're successful today. But the industry is very cyclical, and so I think anything we can do to lower our cost, keep our fares low, just puts us in a better position to weather future storms.
Is that first and foremost, though, to potentially not only expand the fleet, bring on more jobs, but maybe bring some fares down? Because I know the consumer is probably saying, we just want a cheaper ticket to get from point A to point B.
Well, I would compare it to what's happened with fuel prices over the last 3 years. So we've seen oil prices drop, and you've seen fares drop. Yeah. So yeah, I think it just puts us in a better position to manage our overall cost structure. We are the low fare leader in the country. We want our cost and our fares to be as low as possible.
When I found out you were coming, one of the things that I thought is that so much of what we are sort of dealing with on the ground issues, you have to manage in the air. And the big national dialogue now has to do with sexual harassment in the workplace. I want to read something to you, then we can talk about it afterwards. The international president of the Association of Flight Attendants, and they represent airlines like United. This is a quote from that person. We are called pet names, patted on the rear when a passenger wants our attention, cornered in the back alley and asked about our hottest layover. Flight attendants need to know that airlines will take this as seriously as any other safety duty we perform. More than 75% of flight attendants are women. Tell me, how you're managing that, how you're dealing with this issue.
Well, I think first of all, it's just helpful that we get this conversation out. Mm-hmm. And people that don't reflect on their own bad behaviors, they're making a huge mistake. So I think just having the conversation, having people understand that this is important, these are behaviors that are unacceptable. Unfortunately, some people have to be told that. Mm-hmm. Some of these things have to be taught. But you said it right. I mean, what ends up in a company or on an airplane is a reflection of a broader society. Mm-hmm. So it is absolutely something that we are faced with dealing with. We care about our people.
And a large percentage of your employees are women.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And I think it just starts with a care. Do you care or not? We do. We care about taking care of our people. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that they have adequate training. And the old saying that the customer is always right is not correct. Yeah. Sometimes the customer is not right, and our employees know that we're going to back them up in those situations.
With that being said, of protecting your employees and also protecting passengers, I know there was an incident on a Southwest flight this week where a woman passenger was belligerent, threatening to kill other passengers on board. I guess what can you do to reassure the flying public that, you're in good hands with us? And I guess that also goes to Anne Marie's point about your employees also knowing that 30,000 feet above the ground, you're in good hands.
Well, again, just listening to your story and how many people will be traveling and the mode of their travel, it's safe. Yeah. Traveling on an airplane is far safer than traveling by car. And you're dealing with tens of thousands of employees that are professional. They're very well trained, and And the incidents that happen, while they are known and they're somewhat sensationalized, they're very few in number. We have 125 million customers that fly us a year with very, very few incidents. So it's a great experience. We get very high brand rankings from our customers. We have real fans that love Southwest Airlines, and it's because of our people. It's not because of airplanes. Yeah. It's because of our people. They're friendly, they're caring, they're compassionate, and the vast majority of the flights just go perfect.
Let me ask you a question. Southwest is different in a number of different ways. You don't have first class. You have a different boarding system. You also don't post your prices on Kayak or Expedia. And the company has been pretty assertive at sort of shutting down outside companies that try to hack the system, apps that try to create ways for customers to get cheaper flights or ways for customers to board early. Why are you so assertive? Why not sort of incorporate this as sort of part of the modern economy in a way? How come you don't like these sort of startups?
Well, first of all, companies deserve the right to choose how they want to do business and who they want to do business with. I would just start there. But it's really the arguments you were making. We're different. And we want to make sure that customers or that potential customers understand how we're different. And we're different in really good ways. We don't charge bag fees, we don't charge change fees. We have a wonderful frequent flyer program. As a component of that, we have a fantastic credit card that feeds into our frequent flyer program. Well, all those things have to be merchandised, if you will. And we want to have this direct relationship with our customer. And come to us, let us explain to you how it works. If you go to these other travel sites, they don't do anything like that. So you're not going to get a fair picture of the value that you get from Southwest, number one. Number two, you don't get the service. If you go in, you make a booking on another site, you want to make a change, they're not going to be helpful. If you need a refund, they're not going to be as helpful. And then finally is the cost. We talked about the cost. We like having fuel prices lower. We'll look forward to having lower taxes. It would cost us more money to rely on intermediaries, and for what value? And that's what the internet's all about. How hard is it to get on, your iPad and be able to go directly to Southwest if you want to compare to other airlines? There's any number of mechanisms to do that. Right. So we think we've got the best idea, and in some ways that's why we're the largest airline in the country.
Gary, I'm sitting at home right now. I'm a family of 4. I'm thinking about holiday travel, and I'm trying to decide on what airline do I want to book my travel on. Give me your elevator pitch right now if you're trying to get that family out there that's trying to make that decision. You talk about the competition that's out there, so let me hear it.
Well, it's a long list. I'll try to be quick. First of all, you want a comfortable flight and a comfortable seat. We fly all Boeing 737s. They're wonderful narrow-body airplanes. They're quiet, they're fuel efficient. Number two, we fly more flights every day with more seats than any other airline. So if you like to fly nonstop, Southwest is going to be a great opportunity for you. And then if you like low fares and you don't like overpaying.
That should be the top. That's your lead right there, guy.
If you like getting great points for your frequent flyer program at Southwest, and then if you love friendly people that are there to help you, you're talking about Southwest Airlines.
Okay, I got 3 rapid fires. Bitcoins. Would you ever accept Bitcoins?
I think it's premature.
Right,
right now, 99% of our sales are through credit cards. It works just fine.
First class?
Well, there are no second-class seats on Southwest, so we're fine with that right now.
And what about Europe? I know you guys are going to Hawaii. You're going to start Hawaii flights. What about Europe?
Well, we're focused on that first. I think Europe is a possibility down the road, but it's really not on our punch list. We have 750 airplanes to end next year. I think over the next generation we can probably add as many as 500 more, and that's just dealing with North America and maybe a little bit of South America. So maybe one of these days, but it's not a priority.
All right. Gary Kelly, you are free to move about the newsroom.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, Gary Kelly.